So I made a video of Tenacious D's Wonderboy, and now I'm going to show you how to play that if you want to play that. And I'm in the little tab, and you can get the download link in the description. And I squeezed everything neatly into one page. Basically, we have two chords here which are important, which repeat over and over, which is the D major, 0232, and a B major, but just the upper strings. And this is used in the verse, in the intro, the verse, and in the chorus. Just in the intro and the verse we have a picking pattern, and in the chorus it's more a strumming pattern, right? So let's have a look at the intro. The picking can be done in a couple of ways. You could go with alternate picking. This is one way, or you could go down, up, 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 arpeggio style. Or you could do down, down, up, up. I think this is the one that I prefer because you have the accent then on the... A little bit exaggerated, but the accent should somewhat be there. Those are the three ways you can play that one. Pick the one that you like best, that suits your style best. In the left hand we have the pull-off on the 3-2, on the G to the F sharp, and on the F to the E, the 1 to the 0. And also again the accent on the F there. Okay, and that is pretty much how you play the intro and the verse. But then the third time around, the second guitar comes in, and we want to make a version with just one guitar, campfire version, so to speak. So you gotta keep the picking pattern from guitar 1 and still do the upper stuff that the guitar 2 does, which is pretty much that. Second time a little bit higher to the 15. But that would be boring to just stop the picking pattern, so we need to do a little switch up of both guitars, and I did it like this. So we got 11-10, ring, middle, then we have a pull-off with the pinky on 12-11, and we have it's like this. And the second part of that, down, up, up, down, up, on 13-14, 0, and 11-12, 0. Or open, let's call it open, not 0. 13-14 open, 11-12 open. And the second time around, it's 14-15 open, 11-12 open. Altogether it sounds like this. So then you have your intro done, and you get into the verse, and the verse starts again with the same pattern as the intro. And it's important to get the transition right from here, because you gotta start singing at the same time. So you have exactly this point here to raise your head if you have a microphone, or to look at the audience, because now you have the D on high above the mucky muck. So this, you should really practice those transitions. High above the mucky muck. Okay, and we get through that, then we come to the pre-chorus. Not much to say when you're high above the mucky muck. So we get into that strumming pattern, all downstrokes, palm mute. With that part you mute here at the bridge, and you just strum down and change the bass notes from D to C sharp. Now you go into B minor, aces 4, and then you have that little thing at the end where you go down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. And the last two are more like string mutes, clicking sounds. Just keep the flow in the right hand. Okay, and then you're in the chorus. Something like that. I think I would keep it minimal. And so forth. And then we get into the post-chorus, which is pretty much the same as the pre-chorus, right? And we get into the beginning, the verse riff, right? Now we got a lot of repetition, but there is a change in the second verse. When we get into the pre-chorus, because it goes a little bit longer, we will keep going on the G, right? And on all this is like this. What powers, you ask? I don't know about the power of flight. That do anything for you? That's levitation arms. How about the power to kill a yak from 200 yards away? Here's your shift, not, but you go. Keep the strumming pattern onto the G from 200 yards away. Go into a D with F in the bass. You could play it like this, but I prefer 2-5-4 here because we have another F sharp here, and we don't have to break up the structure of the left hand, right? With mind bullets, mind is the E minor then, and bullets. That's telekinesis, Kyle. And on the telekinesis we have this little love of my life, Queen thing. Pick the bass at the first one, then you would pick the bass with the pick, and pick the upper strings with ring and middle finger. And after that, it would just be all downstroke. Because with down, up, it's even harder. It's better to do it all downstroke. And the last one then is here on the open A, 11, 12 and 10, which is something like a, this would be your D major 7, but you played without the D and with the open A instead of the 12 here. So it's a D major 7 without the root note. And then comes, how about the power to move you? And a little lick. And this little lick is little, but a little hard. It is, indeed. You can play it in two ways. I think in my video I played it like this, that I jump from with the index from the 10 on the upper E string to the B string. And then 12, 11, going down to the D. But if I would do it again, could do it again, then I would do it this way. Which is that you switch after the bend on the 12, bend release. Then you go with the ring finger onto the 10 of the B string. And have the index on the 8, the pinky on the 11. And that frees up the ring and middle finger to go to 11-10 then. Right? And I would stay on the 11-10 then for the first bar of the history of Wonderboy, and then go on to the second chord, the B chord, from open 11-10 to the other one, instead of history of Wonderboy. Alright. Okay, after that we have a lot of repetition again. We have another verse. This should be verse 3 by now. We have another chorus. We have another interlude, which is the intro again. Then we have another verse, number 4. Well, Wonderboy and Young Nasty Man joined forces and they formed a band. The witch, the light, the witch, oh, watcha. Then we just have a little difference in the post-chorus at the end. Because it's me and KG. We're not the nations. And instead of going to the thing, they go to the C, G. This is what they really like to do a lot. I think in Fuck It Gently it is, and in other songs as well they like these. This is just their thing. So we, instead of going to the G, we go to C, G, and we're at the start of the solo. Okay, so let's look at that solo. We start off with a little bar chord on the upper 10, but you gotta play it staccato, not like this. Instead, you gotta play it like, right? This is that part. Then we have the lick from before again. The only difference is you have to get to the 15 here. So it would be best to do a slide instead of using the pinky on the 11. You slide from the 8 to the 11, and then you are with your pinky already ready on top of the 15 here and can go into the... Now if you're really good, you can try and going into that triplet pattern, doing the bass note on the D with the pick, and picking the E string with your ring finger, but that is really tough. And okay, then you have these triplet patterns, which is and you just have pull-offs on 15, 14, 12. Eight times, and then up to the 17, 15, 14. And then the pattern changes. It is a hammer-on pull-off. All 4 together. And then comes the tricky part. From the triplet feeling, you gotta get back to the straight 8th note feeling. And that is needs a little practice, because you have to somewhat slow down like this. That takes a little time and a little practice to get that right. And here it is important again to switch to your pinky to free the middle and the ring finger, so you can slide up to the 11-10 easily. So it would be and then you are at the middle section of the solos. And this one is a little tough because you have to have your bass notes there, because if you play it without bass notes it just sounds very empty. It would sound like that. So you gotta have the bass notes, but it is luckily not a problem because your first bass note is the D. So this one is fairly easy, right? But the second one is the C sharp, which would be here, but that is too far off, so we have to take it on the E string on the 9 right here. But it's best to not play it on the 1, but just the ones after that. So it's together, this sounds like that. It's enough if you just play those 2 C sharps there after the 1 beat. And now it gets a little bit tricky because you have to use your thumb here, grabber. You could try that, but this is very complicated to go from. Not really. So this technique is not a very fine technique, so to speak, but it just gets the job done sometimes if you need a bass. And we need the bass here on the B, and we have our B here on the 7. So coming out from the C sharp, you got everything set up. You can do a bar here on the 7/7 with your index and use the thumb to do the B on the 7. And the pattern after that is a little bit complicated. You have to, because you always have to use two strings. You can do it in 2 ways. Either you just play the thumb B just at the beginning, and then use the other B on the D string, on the 9th fret of the D string. Or you play the thumb B twice. Okay, and then you get into your final climax here with the A as your bass, which is convenient. You don't have to pick that one. And you just go in thirds up. You have a major, third, minor, minor, major. Or you start on the 11/10 again. This is up to you. I think those are all the parts we have. After that we have another chorus. Then we have an outro verse. And in this outro verse you could do a little more dramatic picking maybe. Something like that, right? It's down, down, down. Now maybe up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Something like that. Oh, shake my hand, young nasty man, and we'll fly. Like that, on through the end. There, the crevasse. With your mighty Jews, and you're done. Right, and that is pretty much all you need to play Tenacious D's Wonderboy. You can check out my version. Sure, there will be a link somewhere here, and I will try to make more of those videos, more performance, more instruction videos and other stuff, also original Pentaman stuff. Let's see how this goes. So, bye!